Good morning, everyone. The event will start shortly.
COVID-19 has a devastating impact in all countries around the world. The pandemic is no longer solely a health crisis. It has greatly affected the critical socio-economy and livelihood of the people. COVID-19 also brought us opportunities in enhancing a new form of cooperation. Local governments have taken the lead role in surviving and recovering from the pandemic with strong initiatives to support the community. The spirit of getting back stronger goes across borders. It needs united efforts of local governments with key actors such as civil society and corporations. As an association, UCLG ASPAC plays a vital role in bridging the strength of its wide network. UCLG ASPAC has been providing platforms for its members and beyond to learn about the latest updates, local actions, and knowledge on pandemic recovery. We share the lessons learned and experiences on how to transform our cities, our regions to be aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. Long-term solutions are not possible unless COVID-19 recovery and the SDGs go hand in hand. Apart from the socio-economic crisis, it is necessary to prioritize a cleaner, greener, and healthier environment during this extraordinary time. Cities in the Asia-Pacific region are simultaneously facing climate change issues. Therefore, working towards green recovery is crucial as they must be prepared and resilient in an unprecedented climate change scenario. The new normal era has forced us to adopt cooperation at the next level. UCLG ASPAC has been using technology to conduct virtual events such as online discussion forums and technical assistance, e-trainings, surveys in cooperation with various partners. These are aimed to enhance the capacity of local governments in SDGs localization, climate resilience, education, local economic development, disaster risk reduction, and cultural integration to city development. UCLG ASPAC has also outreach materials, publications, and guidelines on COVID-19 response for local governments, pocketbooks, research, policy recommendations, and best practices, all accessible anytime through our website. Are you ready to embrace the new normal? UCLG ASPAC calls all members, cities, and local governments and you to join hands in collaboration and embrace the new and effective approaches and implementing strategies in driving a sustained recovery.
Make the right direction, make the right decision, and how we want to proceed. I think we can solve this problem.
Let's start now, not tomorrow. Let's start together, not alone. Let's start now, together.
Dear honorable guests and attendees, good morning and namaste from Kathmandu, Nepal. I'm Malvika Subba, your MC for today at the opening ceremony of the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress with the theme From Steady Recovery to Sustained Prosperity in Post-COVID in Asia and the Pacific, 9 September 2021. Welcome everyone. This event is organized by United Cities and a local government Asia Pacific and hosted by Chengzhou Municipal People's Government and Chinese People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries. Amidst this extraordinary time, we are grateful that we could meet in the very momentum event together. And we are thankful for everyone for being present with us today. The 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress today is conducted in hybrid from Kathmandu, Nepal and Chengzhou, China, and most of you join virtually from the other parts of the world. For your information, this event provides a translation feature from English to Chinese and vice versa. Online participants could press the interpretation button at the bottom of the screen and select the desired language, and please mute yourself. Also, for the attended participants here at the venue with us today, we also provide the interpreter from Nepali to English and vice versa. Please use the interpreter hearing device available on your table. Once again, welcome to all the honorable guests and the participants. Without further ado, here is a video introduction by the Chengcho Municipality People's Government as the host of the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress.
Ancient Chinese believed the starry sky and the earth echoed to each other, gathering to the center. In the center of the 5 sacred mountains in China, by Chinese Mother River, Yellow River, the ancestors of the Chinese lived here. The cradle of Chinese oldest civilization. This is Zhengzhou. Zhengzhou, with 5,000 years of the continuity of Chinese civilization. With mountains and rivers, the beautiful city raises over 10 million people. The home for 1.4 billion Chinese people. Mountain, the central mountain, Mount Songshan, the center of heaven and earth. River, Mother River, Yellow River. The essence of Chinese nation. Ancestor, Emperor Huang. The ancestor of Chinese people. State, ancient Hello, the birthplace of Chinese civilization. As time and space shuttle in nature and history. Zhengzhou, a city in Central Plains, embodies the evolution of Chinese culture. Covering 7,446 square meters, Zhengzhou coalesces powerful east, picturesque west, dynamic south, and peaceful north. Zhengzhou combines modern wisdom and ancient culture. To be a city of hope, a city of endeavor. For Chinese, food is the first necessity. Chinese food is originated from Yu cuisine, with 5 tastes in harmony. All the visitors say that Zhengzhou is a warm and cozy city. Zhong. Inter-optimizing, outreaching, and globalizing. Zhengzhou keeps strengthening the core hub and shows the tolerance and cohesiveness to the world. Zhengzhou is building a city of opening and vigor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the train is arriving at the Zhengzhou station.
The ancient and modern join in mountains, rivers, ancestors, and in the country. This is the image of a city in the central plains of China. This is the story of China and Chinese people. In the past and the future, under the sky, on the earth, gather toward the center with life and growth in nature. Zhengzhou, Zhong.
Thank you to our host, Zhengzhou Municipal People's Government. Please give them a round of applause for hosting this year's 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress 2021. Now let's continue with our event for today. This morning here from Kathmandu, Nepal, I'd like to invite and welcome Mayor Ho Hong, Zhengzhou Municipal People's Government, to deliver the welcoming remarks. We would also like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Li Zhen, Deputy Director of Henan Provincial People's Government, as well as Mr. Shui Yongqing, Secretary General of Zhengzhou Municipal People's Government.
及纳提亚秘书长、各位联合主席、各位嘉宾、女士们、先生们，大家好。首先，我代表郑州市人民政府。
First of all, on behalf of Zhengzhou People's Government, I would like to extend my
召开，表示热烈的祝贺，并通过云端
and express my heartfelt thanks to all guests who participate in this event. Since its establishment, UCLG has played an important role in promoting urban diplomacy and international cooperation and jointly addressing risks and challenges. It is the most, influential platform for global cities to carry out multilateral exchanges and cooperation. The Asia-Pacific region is an important force for local governments to participate in global governance, especially during the COVID-19 response. They have done a lot of work in sharing experience on prevention and control of the epidemic and promoting the resumption of work and production. They have made positive contributions to the stability and prosperity of the Asia-Pacific region. We deeply appreciate that. Affected by the pandemic, the Congress was postponed twice, and the format of the conference was changed from on-site to online. I believe everyone can still feel the hospitality, long history, vigor, and rich culture of Zhengzhou through the internet and the just broadcasted promotional video just now. In recent years, Zhengzhou City has thoroughly studied and implemented President Xi Jinping's thoughts on Chinese socialism in the new era and has been deeply integrated into the co-building of the Belt and Road Initiative in accordance with the development philosophy of innovation, coordination, green, openness, and sharing, and strive to build an important hub for taking the domestic circulation as the mainstay and the domestic international circulation reinforcing each other. Since becoming a member city of the UCLG ASPAC in 2010, we have always been adhering to the concept of openness, cooperation, and win-win results. Together with member cities, we have actively participated in organizational affairs and shared global concerns in economic exchanges and cooperation, urban management and innovation, and sustainable development. A broad consensus has been reached in this area. Zhengzhou's friend circle continues to expand and the city's popularity continues to increase. Distinguished guests and friends, the UCLG ASPAC Congress has been successfully held for 7 times. Today, we will discuss the UCLG ASPAC 2021 to 2025 manifesto through the cloud format to jointly explore the direction of the Asia-Pacific region from a steady recovery to a sustained prosperity in the post-epidemic era. The new path to sustained prosperity will surely be a broad consensus on the prosperity and development of the Asia-Pacific region in the post-epidemic era and provide a reference for all stakeholders. I sincerely hope that everybody can speak freely from each other and join hands to open a new chapter in the fields of the anti-epidemic international cooperation, promotion of economic integration, and take practical actions to build a community with a shared future for mankind, aiming at achieving mutual, benefit and win-win results in high-quality building of the Belt and Road Initiative. And finally, I would like to wish the Congress a great success, and when we can stabilize the epidemic control, welcome to pay visit to Zhengzhou to renew our friendship. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor, for your excellent remark, and thank you, Jiang Chao, for hosting this 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress 2021. Now I'd like to invite Mr. Jiang, Vice President of the Chinese People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries, to deliver the opening remark.
President Ashok, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to meet friends virtually and focus on the urban topics in the post-COVID era. I would like to thank the Zhengzhou City and the Mayor Hou Hong for your concerted effort for holding this morning's Congress. Thank you. My name is Jiang. I am the Vice Chairman of my name is Jiang. I'm the Vice President of the CPAFC. The past year and The pandemic has made us facing this threat of the public health. It was truly an extraordinary collective memory in human history. In a world with ongoing pandemic, we look into the post-pandemic era and would like to wonder, what does this pandemic tell us? We put life first, which is the fundamental principle of mankind. Against the pandemic, we must put people's lives and health front and center. And no effort must be spared to attend every case and receive every patient and truly respect the value and dignity of every human life. This is not only the interpretation of how our governments exercise power for the people, but also the best proof of how our human beings respect life in the spirit of humanity. Secondly, solidarity and cooperation is the only choice to fight against the pandemic in the globalization era. The virus exposes the fragilities of the globalized world and shows that all countries are closely connected. A UN report shows that 87% of those surveyed believe that COVID-19 has made international cooperation all the more imperative. We must champion the vision of building a global community of health for all, uphold and practice truly multilateralism so that the international community can get out of the dark hour of the pandemic. Third, we shall respect science, which is a must for the pandemic prevention, control, treatment, and arrange tracing. As countries take varied approaches with different priorities, we should act with the spirit of science and fully leverage the support of science and technology. We shall support medical experts and scientists in global efforts to contain the virus, develop and research on vaccines and medicines, and trace origins of the virus in the spirit of professionalism. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, since the Industrial Revolution, there are increasingly more people have migrating from countryside to cities. Urban areas are already home to 55% of the world's population, and the role of cities in the life of human society has become increasingly prominent. How to manage a city is critical to the well-being of each of us and to the future of all mankind. As a developing country with the biggest population in the world, China is home to an increasing number of urban residents, which has grown from less than 14 million people when the PRC was founded to the more than 900 million people today. The total increase exceeds the total population of Europe. After the hit of the pandemic, Chinese cities quickly coordinated response with jointly community efforts, brought the virus under control. Chinese cities jointly with the global efforts to fight the pandemic. Ensuring effective control on the pandemic, Chinese cities are following a new development philosophy featuring innovative, coordinated, green, and open treatment for all. They fully unleash their potentials with distinctive advantages and stay committed to the overall economic and social development of the country. Dear friends, UCLG ASPAC is an important platform for global cities to focus on the issue now and build consensus. How to make better use of the platform and facilitate exchanges and cooperation among cities is a major topic worthy for discussion. We need to stick together and promote solidarity and cooperation in fighting against the pandemic. We should work together with mutual assistance, open for city cooperation against the pandemic, and actively respond to the call from UCLG ASPAC to support the areas that were hit hardest. We should provide greater humanitarian assistance to the most vulnerable communities and jointly help developing countries with weak public health systems to enhance preparedness and response. We need to uphold openness and cooperation and promote world economic recovery in order to achieve sustainable development. We should focus on the AI, renewable energy, and climate change to better benefit our people. We need to build an open economy to advance trade and investment liberalization and facilitation and keep global industrial supply chains stable. So we must address both the symptoms and root causes as we improve the governance system. We should strengthen exchanges and mutual learning, jointly improve the modernization of urban governance and build a strong city network and respond into the global challenges. It's important to make our cities more resilient by enhancing our capacity of monitoring, early warning, and emergency response, treatment of major pandemics, contingency reserve, and logistics. We should build a solid foundation of urban governance and channel down our human and material resources to the communities to reinforce implementation of targeted measures. We should keep city plays key role in achieving 2030 Sustainable Development Goals for better living environment and happiness of our citizens. Dear friends, let us fully leverage on the UCLG platform to build consensus and deepen cooperation so that cities can play a greater role in building a community with a shared future for mankind. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your remarks. We are at the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress with the theme From Steady Recovery to Sustained Prosperity in Post-COVID in Asia and the Pacific.
We can't hear you from Zhengzhou side.
And now, without further ado, I'd like to invite the President of UCLG ASPAC, President of Muan, Mayor of Dhulikhel Municipality, Nepal, Mayor Ashok Kumar Byanju Shrestha, to deliver his opening remarks.
Thank you. Right Honorable Prime Minister of Nepal, Mr. Sher Bahadur Deuba, respected colleagues, Mayor of Zhengzhou, Ms. Hu Hong, foreign countries, Mr. Zheng Zheng, Deputy Director of Foreign Affairs, Office of Henan Province, People's of Government, Mr. Li Zheng, Secretary General of Zhengzhou Municipalities, Government, Mr. Chu Yongqing, Executive Secretary, United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, Mr. Armida Salsin Elijeng Bana, Executive Director, UN Habitat, Ms. Memun Muha Mohammed Sharif, Vice President, Asian Development Bank, Mr. Bang Bong Suntono, Secretary General of UCLG ASPAC, Dr. Barnadia, friends and well-wishers, respecting development partners and all attendants. A virtual namaste to all of you in the times of this pandemic. I would like to extend my warm welcome to all you to the UCLG ASPAC Congress. It is indeed a great day that we have been able to record it, proceed with the UCLG ASPAC Congress in hybrid mood. Despite the challenges, I and a small team of UCLG ASPAC, along with Secretary General Dr. Barnadia and members from Nepal, are right now located there in Kathmandu, Nepal. All of you, including the host, Zhengzhou city, are connected virtually, either from our officers of homes respecting the special distancing and masking protocols. With great pride, we are able to send a strong message under the current restrictions imposed by the global COVID-19 pandemic. Despite the many challenges, we have been able to display our strength in a unified manner to help each other with our vision for better managed cities and regions. This year, UCLG ASPAC Congress is being organized under the theme From Steady Recovery to Sustainable Prosperity in the Post-COVID Asia and the Pacific. There is definitely no better time than this to thank our medical doctors, frontline workers, and our local officials, but particularly those directly servicing the people and ensure that the daily lives of the people in made some here, but still safe from the coronavirus, as the virus matters to from new virus. Our fight for the better, for safer future continues, and UCLG ASPAC will strive to develop and become better in utilize the strength of our network and assisting each other in time of the need. We, the local governments of the Asia Pacific region, are taking every effort toward a recovery and building back better. We will strive to important new and effective approaches to drive a sustainable recovery for social, economical, and health crisis. We will take advantage of the opportunities or challenge driven by COVID-19 and help this region build resilience to other crises that share similarities to COVID-19, such as inequality, climate change, environmental degradation, nature hazard, human trafficking, wars, and international financial meltdown. We will particularly use the opportunity for challenge to also focus on our respective local economies to ensure that job, incomes, and economies are protected and will continue to grow. We will do this keeping our respective local cultural strength and assets as the fire base on which is take concerning action. It is Congress. We have more than 500 people registered, including 8 speakers, 9 side events, and 7 committee meetings. In cooperation with our partners, including various UN bodies, we are discussing issues that focus on how our cities and local government are able to identify strength and action to recover from the COVID-19. During the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress, I also look forward to the adoption of UCLG ASPAC Manifesto 2021-2029. This manifesto is one built upon the first manifesto UCLG ASPAC will focus on. Among their issues, resilience, gender and diversity, and expanding our stronger reach across the Asia Pacific region. I would like to re-emphasize the fact that all mayors, governors, and cities need to think the UCLG ASPAC is our shared organization. As always, we stand united for cities and local governments. Thank you, Jeongjong City and the APEC for hosting this wonderful event, the first virtual Congress we have ever had. I would also like to thank all members, partners, and speakers for joining this Congress and supporting UCLG ASPAC's vision, and entire team member at UCLG ASPAC, Secretary under direction of our Secretary General Dr. Bernadia. May we prosper better as we stand united. I look forward for successful at UCLG ASPAC Congress. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor Ashok Kumar Shrestha. Next, we have several guests of honors to address the inaugural speeches of the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress. And now, moving on with our schedule for today, without further ado, I'd like to invite Mr. Mohammed Bodra, Mayor of Al Hoceima, Morocco President of UCLG World, for the first inaugural speech through a video message.
Excellencies, dear mayors, dear colleagues of the UCLG ASPAC presidency, dear members of the UCLG ASPAC Executive Bureau, dear friends, allow me to thank the mayor of Zhengzhou for hosting this Congress, a critical moment for the future of the largest section of UCLG, and thus for our entire organization. It is a pleasure for me to be with you, even if virtually, at a gathering that will undoubtedly be useful for our world organization in the months to come, as we prepare for the renewal of our priorities ahead of this year's World Council and our upcoming Congress in 2022. The theme of the Congress, from steady recovery to sustained prosperity in post-COVID Asia Pacific, cannot be more pertinent. For the past almost 2 years, local and regional governments have felt the worst of the pandemic and have been at the forefront of any and all efforts. Local and regional leaders have put value into the power of public goods. We have discovered that we are only as strong as each other, and we have been strong in our solidarity with each other. The time has come to reflect on this crisis, to debate how our cities and territories need to be planned in the future for sustained prosperity. We need to bring to the table how to protect our citizens through healthcare for all, through economic stimulus that reach the local level, through strengthening basic services that can cover the needs of the population. As we recover, as our focus shifts to the economic aspect of COVID-19, it is important to recover that we need new approaches, new ideas, new methodologies to be more useful than ever to our communities. The world ahead calls for more unity than ever before to develop a global environment that fosters an equitable and sustainable recovery. We need to upscale our efforts, continuing to collaborate across spheres of governance and involve all stakeholders in the process. UCLG is clear that our role must be that of an ally for transformation, and we will bring this spirit to our Congress, building on the work of all of our regional sections, our partners of the civil society, and all actors. I am sure that the dialogues taking place these days and the democratic process that are underway in the UCLG ASPAC Congress will be a great use to our entire network to arrive together at a shared horizon that leaves no one behind, to advance the conversation on what is essential for a new model of society. I am sure that the lessons of solidarity from all local governments that are part of the Congress will fuel the work of the World Organization and be key to carry out a pact for the future that works for people, for the planet, and for governments. You can believe me when I tell you, dear friends, that your solidarity resonates around all of UCLG and that the entire organization is looking and learning from this gathering. You can count on me as your president to reflect them throughout the organization. I wish you all a very fruitful Congress. Thank you.
One more time, very good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us today at the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress 2021. And now I'd like to request and invite Mr. Bambang Susantono, Vice President of Asian Development Bank. VP Bambang is online here with us direct from Manila, Philippines.
Thank you very much, honorable distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good day and warm greetings from the Asian Development Bank in Manila. I'm honored to join you during the 8th United Cities and Local Government Asia Pacific Congress. This is a great way to examine the crucial role local governments play in responding to crisis, particularly during this COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 hit at the heart of cities worldwide. While vaccination programs continue to expand, it remains the poor and vulnerable countries in Asia and the Pacific that must continue to grapple as new variants emerge. The challenge of inadequate urban and social infrastructure was already clear before the pandemic. Now we see it is having a more severe impact on the urban poor and vulnerable groups. When the crisis struck, mayors and local leaders stood at the front line. As the pandemic continues, many have become overwhelmed. We need to ensure we don't fall into a K-shaped recovery, where stimulus and new opportunities benefit some, but the poor and vulnerable suffer. As opposed to the more common P or U-shaped recovery, the K represents a widening inequality during and after the pandemic. It shows a post-pandemic recovery, splitting in two directions. The upward trajectory represents individuals and firms that better off because they have direct access to finance, digital technology, and skill, among others. The downward trajectory presents those that get left out, do not have digital and finance access, no relevant skill without social protection, and those whose income or jobs were lost to lockdown. In many ways, COVID-19 is largely urban crisis, with this effect felt most by city residents. Our approach at ADB is to boost the resilience of cities and their communities to better handle vulnerabilities and shocks, whether physical, social, environmental, or economic. ADB published a livable city guidance notes covering the pandemic response. Many local governments have used it to deal with the pandemic. It proposed a 5E approach, which includes economic competitiveness, environmental sustainability and resilience, equity and inclusiveness, enablers, and engagement. We all understand the 3 E's of economic competitiveness, environmental sustainability, and equity or social inclusiveness. The additional E for enablers reflects the policies, strategies, and system of city governance. And the 5th E for engagement is about collaborating and building partnership with a broad range of stakeholders. For us at ADB, we see the concept of livable cities as a cross-sector and cross-thematic platform that offers integrated solutions. But how do we provide integrated solutions? For one, ADB supports integrating hard infrastructure investment with strengthening institutions. This involves improving a city's policies, systems, and governance. But it also includes building human resources and capacity development. Second, integration must be coordinated across various stakeholders. These include different layers of government between national, province or states, cities, state-owned enterprise, private sector, MSME, civil societies, and community. Third, integration includes what we call the public-private people partnership, or P4, as the foundation for participatory urban planning. Adding to the more conventional public-private partnership, P4 also promotes direct community participations. It is a people-oriented approach where government, donor agency, the private sector, civil society, and targeted beneficiaries work together to find the best solutions for a specific problem. At ADB, we integrate our knowledge work with financing to design more effective and resilient urban investment for our developing members. Integration is absolutely critical in our approach to help create more livable cities. Now, more than ever, our cities increasingly rely on local government. At this stage of the pandemic, we all realize the importance of boosting the capacity of local government units. They are playing a larger, more instrumental role in creating opportunities as we enter post-crisis recovery. The road to recovery will never be easy, but let us take this as an opportunity to make our cities safer, more healthy, inclusive, environmentally sustainable, and also resilient, with our local leaders at the forefront. Most important, however, is to retain and nurture the soul of our individual cities to make each the best possible city for everyone who lives happily there. We know how difficult things have been for many of our local authorities. Today, we want to support each other as we discuss the recovery phase. We benefit from lessons learned and good practices, which will make managing the recovery so much more effective. As popular quote by Helen Keller says, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Thank you, and I wish you all to have a fruitful discussions. Back to you.
Rightfully said, Mr. Bambang Susantono. Thank you so much for being with us here today this morning. And now, moving on, I'd like to invite for the third inaugural speech by Ms. Armida Salcia Alisabana, Executive Secretary of the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific, through a video message.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to join you at this 8th UCLG Asia Pacific Congress, and I wish to thank the Zhengzhou Municipal People's Government for hosting this important event. This Congress convenes at a critical time for cities as they consider how to promote resilient and inclusive urban development in a post-COVID-19 pandemic era. Indeed, the Congress theme, from steady recovery to sustained prosperity in post-COVID Asia and Pacific, should guide cities as they work with local stakeholders and national governments to ensure that we build back better. As the Asia-Pacific region now has a majority urban population, cities will in large part drive our recoveries. As the United Nations Secretary General has said, recoveries require a focus on how urbanization shapes impacts, responses, and longer-term recovery. He highlighted that this must be done through commitments and action in three key areas: tackling inequalities and development deficits, strengthening the capacity of local actors, particularly local governments, and pursuing a resilient, inclusive, gender-equal, and green economic recovery. The dialogue in this Congress align with this focus, from strengthening national-local collaboration to make cities resilient, and on human rights and healthy cities in post-pandemic futures. Emerging from the pandemic, we must ensure that cities are empowered to implement urban solutions that contribute both to economic recoveries and address global and regional challenges. The recent Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report was sobering. It shows that we are well off track to achieve the 1.5 degrees target envisioned in the Paris Agreement. Given the expected growth of another 1.2 billion by 2050 in urban populations in our region, cities will drive energy consumption, emission, and resource consumption. They must therefore also be leaders in decarbonization, low-carbon transport, energy efficiency, and local building regulations are just a few of the local actions that cities can promote. We cannot disconnect our current patterns of urbanization with the significant loss of biodiversity in our region. We must integrate resilient strategies and nature-based solutions in urban planning to ensure that environmental challenges such as coastal degradation, loss of forests and species, and the further emergence of zoonosis diseases are properly addressed. ASCAP is pleased to be working with partners such as UCLG Asia Pacific and local cities to build capacities and support the development of innovative urban solutions. We are partners in the Asia Pacific Mayors Academy. we have worked together on supporting cities to develop voluntary local reviews. I commend the commitment of all local leaders participating in the Congress and congratulate UCLG Asia Pacific on bringing together a wide range of stakeholders to promote sustainable urbanization. I look forward to the outcomes of this Congress being brought forward to the Regional Partners Forum on Sustainable Urbanization. The forum will be convened by ASCAP, the Penang Platform, and UN Habitat on 28th and 29th of October of this year. I wish you all a very successful Congress and thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
And now I'd like to move on with the inaugural speeches. I'd now like to invite fourth inaugural speech by Ms. Maimuna Mohammed Sharif, Executive Director of UN Habitat, through a video message.
Honorable Mayors, distinguished guests, colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen, I am conveying my best regards to the host, the Municipal People's Government of Zhengzhou, and the Chinese People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries. Honorable Mayors Hao Hong and Ashok Shrestha, President of UCLG ASPAC, and dear friends, Benadia, thank you for the opportunity to speak at the opening of UCLG ASPAC's 8th Congress. I will be brief and focus on what is needed the most to achieve urban prosperity in Asia and the Pacific. First, cities must step up the implementation of the new urban agenda, which was endorsed by member states 5 years ago. UN Habitat has charted out the following recovery recommendations in its recent Cities and Pandemic report. First, we must step up our advocacy for compact design, accessible mobility, and mixed land use to make cities and communities more livable. Second, cities must address underlying causes of exclusion, particularly in access to basic services and infrastructure, adequate housing, and secure livelihoods. We must also help cities provide access to digital services and tools. Third, cities must invest in a new normal of urban economy to help smaller businesses and informal workers and transition to greener, more equitable urban economies. Last but not least, authorities need to work in a more integrated manner, strengthen multi-level governance with an emphasis on developing more flexible and innovative institutional and financial frameworks. We would also like to hear about your progress and challenges in regional and global meetings this year and next year, including at the 11th World Urban Forum in Poland. We hope that UCLG ASPAC and its members will come out strongly and show the visions and the leadership for recovery from this region. Secondly, prosperity is out of reach without climate action. Carbon neutrality and adaptation are essential for a sustainable urban future, even more so in Asia and the Pacific, which has been disrupted by natural disasters. The UN Secretary General has called 2021 a make or break year to confront the global climate emergency, highlighting that COVID-19 recovery plans offer the opportunity to build back better and greener. Many cities have committed to ambitious climate action targets, aiming to achieve carbon neutrality earlier than 2050. I would like to call upon all of you to champion the implementation of the new urban agenda in order to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. And more urgent than ever, we need to provide adequate and affordable housing for all, which is especially crucial at the time of a global health crisis and climate emergency. I invite you to join the upcoming Innovate for Cities Conference, an international gathering at the nexus of cities, climate change, science, and innovation that will take place in October 2021. We seek innovations in national urban policies and in approaches to local capacity building to channel more resources toward green, resilient, and just recovery. The time to act is now, and I sincerely hope that all UCLG ASPAC members can harness the power of partnerships to stimulate climate action in crisis and beyond. Thank you.
It is definitely wonderful to see all the cities and the countries, especially from Asia and the Pacific, coming together to recover together post-COVID. I apologize, Right Honorable Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba could not be here today with us, but we have the Executive Director from MUAN, Kalanidhi Devkota, who will be reading the message from the Prime Minister's office.
Ashok Kumar Benju Shrestha, President of UCLG ASPAC, Jiang Jiang, Vice President of Chinese People's Association of Friendship with Foreign Countries, Hao Hong, Mayor of Zhangzhou Municipal People's Government of China, Li Zheng, Deputy Director of Foreign Affairs of Office of Henan Provincial People's Government, Chu Yongqin, Secretary General of Zhangzhou Municipal People's Government, Mohammed Baudra, President of UCLG World, Armida Sarsia Alice Chavana, Executive Secretary of United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, Maimua Mohammad Sharif, Executive Director, UN Habitat, Bambang Susantono, Vice President for Knowledge Management and Sustainable Development at Asian Development Bank, Barnadia Iravati Chandradevi, Secretary General of UCLG ASPAC. Respected mayors, governors, cities, and those working on local governance, and distinguished participants. It is indeed my pleasure to send you my congratulatory message during the opening ceremony of the 8th United Cities and Local Governments Asia Pacific of UCLG ASPAC. The theme is very right for the moment, from a steady recovery to sustained prosperity in post-COVID Asia and the Pacific. During the times of the global COVID-19 pandemic, it is very noteworthy that you have been able to gather this level of international participants virtually with a small gathering of physical participants in Kathmandu, Nepal. Welcome to everyone from my beautiful country of Nepal. I would like to thank Zhangzhou Municipal People's Government and the Chinese People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries for hosting this event. While over 190 local governments officials from the Asia and the Asian Pacific region are also gathered here, allow me to call upon stronger collaboration against the coronavirus disease. Apart from the pandemic affecting world economies, COVID-19 has affected the daily lives of the people. However, I do salute the role played by the local governments as frontline workers during the pandemic. The Asia and the Asian Pacific region is also a place where local governments and their associations have played a key role in managing the pandemic. In Nepal, the work of our local governments in managing holding centers, isolation centers, as well as now the vaccination drive is commendable and is taking place in close coordination with the federal government. It is the local governments that are more in direct contact with the people. I urge you all to develop clear strategies at the national level of concept of developing stronger, healthy cities. In the case of Nepal, I do acknowledge the suggestion made by the local government associations to expand the reach of the epidemiology and disease control division across the country. However, in these trying times, we need to think beyond borders and fight unitedly against diseases even beyond the coronavirus disease. To start with, the vaccination drives is a possible area countries and local governments can help each other so that everyone is safe. I wish the best to all for a successful and impactful event that will bring about positive changes around the world. Thank you all for this wonderful opportunity and hope to see you all in Nepal soon. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for delivering the message from the Prime Minister's office. Definitely, we have to have solidarity and work together to fight the post-COVID effect that all of the countries and the cities, especially from the Asia and the Pacific, are facing together. And vaccination is definitely very important to save lives. And now it is picture time, ladies and gentlemen, which is next on the agenda. Dear honorable guests, mayors, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite you to take a group photo. To the ones present here, please proceed towards the stage physically. To the ones online, please do turn on your cameras. Can we have the view of the online as well as the photo grid, please? We will just take a few moments to settle down and then stand up and take a photo here. I'd like to request the ones present online to please turn on your cameras. To all our honorable guests present online. We'll just take a few seconds to settle up for the photo. All right, if we're ready on 3, 2, and 1. Smile, everyone. With the mask on, the eyes shall definitely smile too. The smile shows through the eyes. That's the beauty of it. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, everyone. Wonderful. Thank you. Shall we move on? Okay, so now we move on to the manifesto. The UCLG ASPAC has carried out and made concrete work on the ground as structured in its first 2015 to 2020 strategic plan, referred to as the manifesto. The 2021-25 strategic plan or manifesto of UCLG ASPAC has been developed with foresight to further develop the underlying and principal purposes of the organization. The plan also includes the recovery of cities and local government from COVID-19 as an equal strategic component. I would now like to invite Dr. Banadia, Secretary General, on the stage to introduce the Manifesto 2021-2025.
Very good morning, namaste, ni hao, tajia hao. This is going to be a memorable time. Today, 9 September 2021, we will be officially adopting the manifesto of UCLG ASPAC 2021 to 2025. This UCLG ASPAC Manifesto 2021 to 2025 was built upon the achievements and progress on the implementation of the previous manifesto of UCLG ASPAC 2015 to 2020. We have done some concrete and tangible progress and works on the ground. In addition, this manifesto was developed by members of UCLG ASPAC with foresight to further develop the underlying and principles, purposes of the organization that we all love. So this plan is based on the continuations and achievements and progress in policy formulation and policy advocacy, as well as in capacity buildings and learning, peer-to-peer learning, and knowledge hub. We also particularly pay attention on the localizations of global agenda. There are several global agendas: Sustainable Development Goals, Paris Agreements, New Urban Agenda, and also equally important, the Sendai Framework for Actions on Disasters Risk Reductions. So this manifesto, the manifesto that we will be implementing together for Asia and Pacific region, continues to advocate for the provision of equal basic services. We know that there are so many inequalities still exist in these regions. The importance of having effective local self-governments, democratic local self-governments, and of course the importance of promotions of good governance, having transparency, inclusiveness, also responsiveness. These are the principles of good governance. We also have been facing this COVID-19 pandemic. So as a COVID-19 has brought long-lasting social, economic, and cultural impacts, so this manifesto also includes the plan for recovery of cities and local governments from COVID-19 as equal strategic components. So we all believe that this manifesto 2021 will encourage cities and local governments in these regions to contribute and support for building cities, building the regions that are resilient, that are just, and that are equal, and that are prosperous, and that are inclusive, and importantly, sustainable. So we believe that this Changzhou, as the host of the official adoption of the manifesto of UCLG ASPAC 2021 to 2025, will be involved actively. So once again, let's make this manifesto implemented in our places, in our regions, and we believe that this is possible. So thank you. Dhanyabad. Sisye.
Thank you so much, Dr. Banadia, indeed. To talk more about the manifesto as well, I'd like to invite Mayor Ashok Byanju Shrestha, President of UCLG ASPAC.
Namaste. It is a great honor to get a full of support from UCLG ASPAC members on the officious adoption of the UCLG ASPAC Manifesto 2021-2025. This manifesto is the tangible involvement, the participation of the UCLG ASPAC member to materialize the principal purposes of the organization, among other promoting. First, strong and effective democratic local self-governments throughout the region and world. Second, unity and cooperation among members. Three, economic, social, cultural, vocational, and environmental development and service to the population based on the principles of good governance, sustainability, and social inclusion. Four, decentralization, cooperation, and international cooperation between local government and their associations, and being a strong democratic organization and functioning the diversity of local sphere of governance. I firmly believe that the manifesto will guide UCLG ASPAC in developing policies, programs, and initiatives within the framework of organizations, mission, and the principle proposed. Together we can do and achieve it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to the President indeed. And now I'd like to invite both Dr. Banadia as well as President Ashok on this stage, and Mayor of Jiangzhou, Ms. Ho Hang. We shall now be showing off the manifesto of 2021 to 2025. Ready? And here is the manifesto 2021-2025. Let's give a round of applause to everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you and congratulations. The UCLG ASPAC Manifesto 2021-25 is finally adopted. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the next agenda, which is about the photo competition. To enliven the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress and raise awareness for COVID-19's responses and recovery, a photo competition was held as part of the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress. The photo contest was followed by more than 80 participants from 30 cities in 7 different countries, with more than 160 photos in 4 different themes, namely community efforts on COVID-19 recovery, economic and COVID-19 recovery, creativity in crisis, blessing in disguise. Now let's see the highlight video of the photo competition.
Welcome to the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress, co-hosted by Qingzhou Municipal People's Government and the Chinese People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries, with support and participation from partners at the regional and global levels. Cities and local governments have been working hard in tackling the COVID-19 pandemic and facilitating steady, inclusive, and sustained recovery. As the largest local government association in Asia Pacific, UCLG ASPAC has been supporting its members and working with partners around the world to build back stronger in a post-pandemic era and to continue the path in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. On the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress, a photo competition is held for the first time to raise awareness and capture the efforts of COVID-19 response and recovery in Asia-Pacific cities. The photo competition has 4 categories. 1. Community efforts on COVID-19 recovery. Despite challenges, communities have engaged in joint efforts to strive and thrive during this pandemic. 2. Economic and COVID-19 recovery. Economies worldwide have been severely affected by the pandemic, but slowly a new and growing economic landscape is taking shape. 3. Creativity in crisis. The pandemic's impact on our daily lives sparked people's creativity to adapt and maintain their livelihoods. 4. Blessing in disguise. Finally, there are evidence of the pandemic's positive impact on wild, sea, and human life, thus illustrating a blessing in disguise. More than 150 photos were submitted from public participants all around Asia-Pacific, and this positive response shows the path towards recovery in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. The panel of judges for this photo competition consists of, from Indonesia, Ferganata Indra Riatmoko, a photojournalist from Kompas in Yogyakarta. From Jeju, South Korea, Lee Chang-hoon, a member of the Photo Artists Society of Korea. From Nepal, Sudhira Shah, a photojournalist based in Australia for 2 leading national dailies. From China, Wang Hening, a chairman of Jingzhou Photographers Association. The judges have collectively selected 1 winner per category, and a 5th winner is chosen by popular vote. And now it is time to announce the winners.
The photo competition was definitely a success, and thank you so much to all the participants for competing and for sending in your photos for the competition. Now, without further ado, we'd like to announce the winners of the photo contest. First up, I'd like to request the Mayor of Jiangzhou, Ms. Ho Hang, to announce the winners of the 1st and 2nd categories, as well as to provide the virtual certificates to the winners.
The 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress photo contest of the first group is community efforts on COVID-19 recovery. The winner is Ming. Work with doctors. The theme of the 2nd group is economic and COVID recovery. Winner is Mr. Title of his work is Market. Congratulations to above winners.
Congratulations to our first winner for the photo competition. Now moving on to the 2nd category. And congratulations one more time to our 2nd winner as well. Thank you so much, Mayor Ho Hang. And now, shall we move on to the 3rd and the 4th categories? I'd like to invite Mayor Ashok Kumar Bianju Shrestha on the stage to do the honors. Hello? Hello? Yes.
Now I am reading the third winner. I am pleased to announce the winner of 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress photo contest from category 3 is name Mr. Jing Shiliu, photo title Preparing for Test while Fighting Against Epidemic.
Congratulations to our third winner category. Now let's move on to the fourth one.
Fourth one is, I am pleased to announce the winner of at UCLG ASPAC Congress photo contest from category 4 is Mr. Abhijit Ghosh. Photo title, photo 3, Blessing in
Disguise. Congratulations to Avijit Kosh for Blessing in Disguise, a fourth category. Thank you so much to Ashok sir. Now I'd like to invite Dr. Bernadia to announce the fifth winner and to present the virtual certificate as well.
Dear everyone, I'm pleased to announce the winner of the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress photo contest from category Favorite Awards. This photo has received more than 400 photos. The name is Muhammad Iksan from Indonesia. Photo title, Trying to Survive with the Product's Adaptions. So congratulations.
Congratulations to all the top 5 winners and the favorite photo as well. And now I'd like to request the winners together with Mayor Ho Hong, Mayor Ashok, and Dr. Bernadia. Let's have a quick photo, please. Can we also have the winners online? If you could just turn on your camera if you're there. Just give us a few seconds to get that together, as well as the winners. We are at the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress here today, and we are talking about the steady recovery to sustain prosperity in post-COVID in Asia and the Pacific. From Kathmandu, Nepal, and the host is Zhengzhou, China. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful. One more time, congratulations to all the winners. Thank you so much to both of you, and thank you to Mayor Ho Hong. Thank you. I'd like to request both of you to remain on stage, I believe. Oh, sorry about that. You have a lot of work to do. Okay, so now we move on to the online photo exhibition launch. And both Mayor Ashok as well as Dr. Bernadia will be launching it from here. And I'd like to request Mayor Ho Hong also to please stand by. And the three of them will be launching the online photo exhibition on my count. So can we have Mayor Ho Hong also on the screen, please? If you are ready, Mayor Ho Hong will be now launching, yes, with the iPad. So on my count of, I will give you the countdown. Just a second, please. Okay. All right. We are ready. Now, on my count of 3, 2, 1. And that was the online photo exhibition. We are at the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress 2021 from Kathmandu, Nepal, and the host is Chengchao, China. Now moving on, we have the city signing ceremony agenda. And for this, I'd like to invite and request Mayor Ho Hang to deliver a speech regarding the same.
尊敬的阿曼特·斯蒂科夫市长，
Distinguished Mayor Amanda Sikofu, Mr. Jawali, President Chitana Sanchwa, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today, online to hold the Friendship City signing ceremony in Asia Pacific. Hereby, I would like to, on behalf of the Zhengzhou Municipal People's Government, to extend my sincere gratitude to participants attending this signing ceremony. In recent years, under the initiative of the quality building of the RI, Zhengzhou, together with quality city Jiujiang, Kathmandu city in Nepal, and FSLGA and Palembang, Indonesia. We have done cooperation in wider range, which have laid us foundation for future cooperation. Today's signing ceremony marks the French circle of Zhengzhou City has become even larger. We have set out new targets towards international decision. Friendship City signing and the MOU signing are the milestones for the friendship among parties. Zhengzhou will take the ceremony as a new start with an inclusive approach. Let's see practical and innovative strategies for seeking the mutually beneficial and win-win outcomes. To expand our cooperation exchange with parties on trade, development, and technology, cultural education, hygiene, and academic. Thus, we have to contribute the Zhengzhou power to build up the unity with future of mankind. We do believe the collaboration between Zhengzhou and the convention cities based on this ceremony will greater new effort towards the development of Asia Pacific region and will make our friendship even lasting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Ho Hang. Okay, let's move on to this signing ceremony of the cities. We'd like to start with the Mayor of Belichi. I'd like to request Mayor Ho Hang, as well as Mayor Sitkov Amanat Kalibia Kalichi, to please sign the letter of intent from both cities and please show it to the camera. Would like to go online for this. And I apologize if I've mispronounced the names of the person as well as the city. When you're done, please show it to the camera together. Mayor Ho Hang, as well as Mayor Sitkov, can we please show it to the camera? Congratulations to both the cities, and thank you very much. A round of applause, please. Thank you very much. And now we move on to the next one, which is with the Kathmandu city, Nepal. For this, I'd like to request our CAO of Kathmandu Metropolitan City, Rajesh Giwali sir, to proceed to the stage, as well as Mayor Ho Hang, both of them, to sign the letter of intent from both cities. We're now signing the intent between Kathmandu Metropolitan City and Zhangzhou. So once you are done, please show it to the camera in a form of solidarity between both the cities. We are ready to show both the signed letters. Mayor Hoha, congratulations to both the cities, and thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Working together is the best way to recover as well as move on from the post-pandemic, because united we stand, divided we fall. It's one of the most cliched quotes ever, but it definitely works for sure. And now I'd like to invite President of Zhangzhou People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries and President of Federation of Sri Lankan Local Government Authorities to please sign the letter of intent from both cities. Once both the cities are ready, signing, please show it to the camera. Both of you are now, can be seen on the screen. Can we have both the cities showing the letter of intent on the screen, please?
Sri Lankan side, please show the letter of intent to the camera.
Okay, I'd like to request both the cities to please show the letter of intent if you're ready and if you've signed already. Mr. Fitara? Can we show the signed letter on the camera, please? Thank you very much. We are at the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress, where the cities are now signing letters with one another as a form of solidarity, working together. Congratulations to both the cities, and thank you very much. Thank you very much. Wonderful. Thank you. Moving on and continuing with our opening ceremony of the 8th UCLG ASPAC Congress right here today from Kathmandu, Nepal. And now I'd like to request the mayor of Balichi, Mayor Sitkov Amanat, to please deliver his speech.
Madam Ho Hong, Mayor of Zhengzhou, dear colleagues and friends, I sincerely welcome all of you to participate in the signing ceremony on the letter of intent between Pakistan and Zhengzhou People's Republic of China here on this occasion. On this important event, I would like to express my sincere congratulations I hope the signing of the agreement and the following cooperation will exert positive impact on the equitable dialogue and deep relationship between the cities. Kyrgyzstan and the Republic of China have developed a very strong friendship and trust for its people. The two countries have been enjoying and carrying on active dialogues on global and regional hot issues, including political issues. Today, Blackchi and Zhengzhou very good interaction in terms of the trade economy and human industry. And we have also opportunity for sustainable and dynamic development. I believe today's signing will have benign impact on the joint projects and will make our bilateral partnership more effective and facilitate our good neighborly relationship and enhance our mutual cooperation between cities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Now moving on to the next speech, I'd like to invite from the Kathmandu Metropolitan City, CAO Rajeshwar Gewali.
Thank you very much. To Our Excellency Mayor of Zhengzhou City of People's Republic of China, Hao Hong, Li Jian, Deputy Director of the Foreign Affairs of Henan Province, Chu Yongqing, Secretary General of Zhengzhou People's Government, Kathmandu Metropolitan City, on behalf of Mayor and people of Kathmandu, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to the Mayor and the people of Zhengzhou City for establishing this friendly city relationship. We hope in coming days we will work together to enhance our cooperation in economic, social development, tourism, and cultural heritage, as the both cities are ancient and historic city, and we are a friendly country. So in Kathmandu, about 3 million people are living here, and Kathmandu Metropolitan City is working on infrastructure development, social and economic development to make Kathmandu as a prosperous and resilient city. And in COVID-19 pandemic, we work hard to cope up with this COVID-19 situation, and we are moving forward with support of central, provincial and other agencies of the government. And we hope in coming days further strengthening friendship between two cities will go ahead. And on behalf of Mayor of Kathmandu and the people of Kathmandu, I would like to invite Mayor Ho Hong and her delegation to visit our historic Kathmandu city. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. On speaking on behalf of Kathmandu Metropolitan City, we'd definitely love to host Mayor Ho Hong as well as all the delegates from Zhengzhou. Now, moving on, we have one final speech for the opening ceremony. This is from the President of FSL GA, Mr. Sasara Sanjeeva Virharana. Would like to have you, please. Thank you.
Good morning. President of Gentry People and other witness the ceremony today. Greetings from Federation of Sri Lanka local government authorities and my city, the city of Kurunagalam, the royal capital of Sri Lanka from 13th to 14th century and more than 50 years. As the President of Federation of Sri Lanka local government authorities, I wish express my sincere gratitude to people of century for coming forward to sign memorandum understanding. Let's keep our friendship moving forward with some affirmative action as actually agreed today. I take this opportunity to thank the government of China for extending your support by giving Sri Lanka more than 7 million vaccinations so far. With yours and support from the other countries, we were able to reach more than 12 million people vaccinated so far. With this rapid vaccination program, we are getting ready to open our doors to the world very soon. I sincerely hope your government will continue to support us in future too. Thank you and my best wishes for successful deliberation today to make local government strong. Thank you.
Thank you, mayors and dear honorable guests. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to announce that the opening ceremony is now finished. Please join us in the plenary session right after this, but with a different Zoom link. And if you do not have the Zoom link, it shall be provided in the chat section. I hope someone is sending the link through the chat. See you shortly at the plenary session. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you very much.
COVID-19 has a devastating impact in all countries around the world. The pandemic is no longer solely a health crisis. It has greatly affected the critical socio-economy and livelihood of the people. COVID-19 also brought us opportunities in enhancing a new form of cooperation. Local governments have taken the lead role in surviving and recovering from the pandemic with strong initiatives to support the community. The spirit of getting back stronger goes across borders. It needs united efforts of local governments with key actors such as civil society and corporations. As an association, UCLG ASPAC plays a vital role in bridging the strength of its wide network. UCLG ASPAC has been providing platforms for its members and beyond to learn about the latest updates, local actions, and knowledge on pandemic recovery. We share the lessons learned and experiences on how to transform our cities, our regions to be aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. Long-term solutions are not possible unless COVID-19 recovery and the SDGs go hand in hand. Apart from the socio-economic crisis, it is necessary to prioritize a cleaner, greener, and healthier environment during this extraordinary time. Cities in the Asia-Pacific region are simultaneously facing climate change issues. Therefore, working towards green recovery is crucial as they must be prepared and resilient in an unprecedented climate change scenario. The new normal era has forced us to adopt cooperation at the next level. UCLG ASPAC has been using technology to conduct virtual events such as online discussion forums and technical assistance, e-trainings, surveys in cooperation with various partners. These are aimed to enhance the capacity of local governments in SDGs localization, climate resilience, education, local economic development, disaster risk reduction, and cultural integration to city development. UCLG ASPAC has also outreach materials, publications, and guidelines on COVID-19 response for local governments, pocketbooks, research, policy recommendations, and best practices, all accessible anytime through our website. Are you ready to embrace the new normal? UCLG ASPAC calls all members, cities, and local governments and you to join hands in collaboration and embrace the new and effective approaches and implementing strategies in driving a sustained recovery.
Make the right direction, make the right decision, and how we want to proceed. I think we can solve this problem.
Let's start now, not tomorrow. Let's start together, not alone. Let's start now, together.